Okay, let's talk those damn crows.
Literally, I was like, whoa, that is crazy.
That volume suddenly goes up.
I was so wrong. It sounded awful.
Yeah, didn't know what that was. Still don't.
You'll get there.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Not in the Background podcast, your weekly dose of music talk and music recommendations. This week we are talking about Welsh rock band Those Damn Crows. Now, I'm not sure if you've heard of these, but they launched into the stratosphere last year on the UK rock scene with their latest album, God-Shaped Hole. Incredible album. And it managed to beat Sabrina Carpenter to number 1 on the UK album chart, which is quite a feat. Because as much as the song Man-Child is a banger, I think that Those Damn Crows have a few more bangers on their latest album. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that album, God-Shaped Hole, and I also want to talk about another album of theirs called Inhale Exhale. So how did I discover Those Damn Crows? It was actually on Kerrang Radio. So I got a retro-looking DAB radio player for my birthday. I think it was last year. Yeah, it would have been my birthday. And then I just had Kerrang playing. And their song Glass Hearts, which was probably the main single off of the God-Shaped Hole album, came out. And I liked the energy to it. I liked the vibe. I liked, what was most notable to me was the sound of the vocals of the singer. The singer, who's called Shane Greenhall, his vocals are very powerful. He's got very powerful vocals. He's got a fantastic voice that kind of flies under the radar. They have a very melodic rock sound to them, but his vocals are probably the thing that makes them stand out. He's an incredible singer. I actually saw them live at O2 Shepherd's Bush Empire last year, on Halloween last year. It was what me and my girlfriend did for Halloween. And his voice sounds great on the records, but in person and on the stage and live, it's unbelievable. So yeah, fantastic singer. Fantastic band who I suggest you check out. And I'm giving you the recommendation through here. If you've managed to find them on the radio or somewhere else, great. But Kerrang Radio, as much as sometimes it can mainly during the day be a bit sort of the same songs on repeat, which is kind of most national radio stations, I'd say. When you get into the sort of twilight hours of the morning or the evening, you can find some hidden gems on there. There's some really random, quite unique songs that get played. There was, I was listening the other day and there was My Chemical Romance's latest single, which came out 2024 or 2025. And it's a really, really good song. Has a really good breakdown in it towards the end where everything kind of slows up. It's not one of My Chemical Romance's most well-known songs, but it's a really, really good song that's flown under the radar. And so that was on Kerrang. I wasn't expecting that. So you can really find with certain rock stations and certain radio stations, if you listen at the right time, you can find some really interesting bands. And Those Damn Crows were one of the bands that I found. It was actually around the same time that Ghost Satanized came out. And that was the first, I can remember being in the kitchen making some breakfast and then Satanized came on. And I was like, what is this? Oh, this is Ghost. It's the new Ghost song. And that was actually how I got into Ghost, which will be saved for another episode. But yeah, so Glass Hearts came out, Those Damn Crows. And it was interesting because around the time, I had this pause one day where I was reflecting and I kind of thought, this is weird. Like, so this was early 2025. And I was like, I feel a bit disillusioned with music. It's always been such a big part of my life. And every day I listen to music and I love finding new artists and all this and all that. And I felt a bit bored by music, which is really strange. And it's the first time it had ever happened in my life. I paused for a second. I thought, okay, what can I do to sort of make a difference? And there was 2 albums that was coming out around this time. And I thought, well, I've got a good vinyl player. I love playing my vinyls. I try to play my vinyls as much as possible. So why don't I, instead of just listening to these 4 albums on Spotify, YouTube, or whatever, why don't I only listen to the singles? And then I'll only listen to the singles before the album's out. And then when the album comes out, either I go buy it or I just listen to the singles off that album until I buy it. So you get the win of knowing that you like the album because you listen to the singles off it. And if you like 4 or 5 singles off of an album, odds are you're going to love the rest of the album. And there were 6 singles that actually came out for this Those Damn Crows album. So the investment was very worthwhile, but there was enough singles that came out to sort of give you a flavor of everything that was going to be on the album. And weirdly enough, it gave you a flavor, but there were a couple of bangers that weren't brought out as singles, which are my favorite songs off the album, actually. And they were very different in sound, which is great. But yeah, so there was 2 albums that I did this with. The first was Sam Fender's latest album, People Watching. We pre-ordered it, me and my girlfriend, and we listened to it full for the first time when we got it. And then the next one of these albums I did this with was the Those Damn Crows God-Shaped Hole album. And the idea being, it's the illusion of choice and the choice paralysis, where you think, okay, it's amazing to be able to access whatever music you like, but then you're not really investing in the bands that you want to listen to. And I thought, I want to start investing more in the bands that I really enjoy and the artists that I really enjoy. So I thought, you know what, I'll listen to the singles. So all I did up until it was the end of April that the Those Damn Crows album came out, and then just listened to the singles when it came out, went to my local record store and bought it, and then listened to it that day. And it was a really cool experience, and it really brought back the joy of music listening for me. It wasn't ever completely gone, but it was just slightly dampened. And I really wanted to get that same feeling of putting on an album for the first time and just experiencing it and noticing different things with the songs, and, you know, going, oh, that kind of sounds like that, or, oh, this song's connected with me, and I like that song, and, you know, talking about it with people. And so this was one of the albums that really helped bring it back. And also another, you know, that journey of listening to music in a different way and listening to music in a more active way is one of the reasons I ended up starting this podcast. So I owe it partly to Those Damn Crows for starting me on that journey. But yeah, so start the journey, listen to Those Damn Crows, God-Shaped Hole, bought the album when it came out, and it was incredible. Before I talk a bit more about God-Shaped Hole, I think I'll talk a bit chronologically about them, because I haven't listened to all of their earlier stuff. There was a few singles that they played where, what's their first album? Point of No Return? But there's a few singles that came off that album that they played at the gig when I saw them in Shepherd's Bush, which are really cool. Actually really more metal orientated than their current sound, which is a bit more alternative, but they sounded great live. And again, only listen to the singles off that album so that I can enjoy buying the album in the future. I have a notes page of vinyls that I need to get. So it just is ever expanding, and I pick and choose kind of when I want to get things. So that's why I haven't got their first album yet, but I do have the second and third. Second is called Inhale, Exhale, and which I actually have right here. Look at that. Really cool album. Really, really cool album. I'd say there's a bit of, I'd describe them as kind of like metal Daughtry or Daughtry. You know what I'm like when it comes to pronouncing things. But yeah, I'd say metal Daughtry is probably a way I would describe them, because they're not fully metal, but they have a lot of elements of that. And Daughtry sound is very, very alternative, that kind of alt rock type sound with a few stadium rock-esque bit things in there. And I think Those Damn Crows have the powerful lyrics that they bring into their songs. There's a specific song I'll talk about off the second album in a minute. And they also have some really good riffs and songs that jump between different genres, but stay mainly in that alternative area. And it's a bit like Daughtry. And the other thing with Daughtry, fantastic singer. You've got the vocals that really carry through Daughtry. Like Chris Daughtry is an unbelievable singer, and there's just that power. Like I remember when the single Renegade came out off of, I can't remember the name of the album. I do have it. It's downstairs actually in my bookshelf, which has a bunch of CDs as well as books. And it's in there. But the song Renegade off of that, and when it gets to the chorus, and then there's a little bit at the end where the music drops out, and it's just Chris Daughtry's voice, and it's fantastic. So Those Damn Crows have a few elements of that, especially with the Inhale, Exhale album. My favorite song off that album is a song called Find a Way. And it's got all of those elements which I just talked about. And then the guitar sounding-esque, I don't know if you've heard the song Heart Burst Into Fire by Bullet for My Valentine, but there's a section at the end where the kind of main part of the song pushes into this end part with Shane singing. And during the part where Shane's singing, there's a little guitar that kind of builds up behind him, and then his voice drops out. And there's a small guitar lick after that really sounds like Heart Burst Into Fire by Bullet for My Valentine. And I love that because those Damn Crows have so many influences that you can tell when you listen to them. A lot of metal influences, I'd say, but there's a bit of a Nickelback vibe to them. And I spoke about Nickelback last week. There's a Daughtry vibe to them. There's that kind of UK rock sounds to them, but they put their own twist on it. And they always feel like they're telling a story in their songs, and they've always done that. I just feel similar to kind of Don Broco. I think the reason their latest album hit number one and was such a connection for people is because it really felt like they'd found their sound. They didn't go away from their influences. You can still hear the influences in there, but they really started to play to their strengths of the guitar-led songs, the lead guitar-led songs, and Shane's voice. And when you get that balance and when you have that identity, people start to connect with how authentic it is. And that's what the God-Shaped Hole album feels. And that journey started with the Inhale Exhale album. And you can see that journey, that progression to find that sound, because I feel like with Inhale Exhale, you can hear so many more influences across that album. Whereas God-Shaped Hole feels like Those Damn Crows album, like it's them, like it's that sound. It's if I was to start a band, which is not going to happen, I've started a podcast and that's all you're going to get. If I was going to start a band, I'd be like, okay, I'd take some influences from Those Damn Crows and this and this and this. So I'd take influences from the God-Shaped Hole album, which is good. So Inhale Exhale is a very, very good starting point because you get a flavor of the band and their influences, and it has all of the power. And I think that what they did really, really well with the next album, the God-Shaped Hole, is it had more balance. So there's 2 songs on there that are a bit more soft. And then it also has heavier songs on there in terms thematically, as well as lyrically, as well as from just a pure music structure point of view. So in what can only be described as not ideal fashion, my other camera died midway through talking about one of the songs off of the God-Shaped Hole album. So this is why this section will look ever so slightly different, but rest assured, we're fine. What I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by my camera dying was that I want to talk about a song, my favorite song off of the God-Shaped Hole album, which is a song called Night Train. Now, the song Night Train it stems from a dream that Shane, the lead singer, had, where he basically visited his father in his dream and experienced the concept of being able to fall asleep and dream and visit the people from your past. Basically take a train that takes you to a location in this lucid state where you can speak to the people and interact with the people you've lost throughout your life, which is a beautiful concept and a beautiful thing. I remember listening to him talk about it on a podcast where he was saying he just woke up and was in floods of tears. Understandably, it must have been such a visceral, incredible thing to experience with his father. And this is one of the beautiful things about music, is being able to then put that so eloquently into a song afterwards, which is what Those Damn Crows have done with the song Night Train. It's actually quite a slightly more solemn song that's a bit more drum-led, I'd say. The drum really carries the song through with a slightly less powerful guitar over the top that's a bit more rhythmic, that works with the drums. And then Shane's voice kind of bounces along the instrumental, and the lyrics are amazing. Like, the story it tells is amazing. I know I've experienced in the past where I've had a dream that has been about, a family member or a certain experience in my life. And you have that dream and then you sort of wake up and go, blimey, like that felt like that was real. And it takes you a couple of days to really get over it, to be honest, because it's so intense. And so I completely understand where he's coming from when he had this dream about his father and going from there. So it's quite funny because I'll talk about some of the lyrics in a sec to finish up the podcast. But I remember watching this with my girlfriend, watching the music video that came out, because the music video is beautiful. And both of us just were in tears because it was such an incredible thing to connect to and see. And the music video, yeah, it's all animated, and the animation brings to life that slight lucidity which the song's based around. And you really do feel like you're entering this dream state watching it. And even the tone of the guitar that is throughout the whole song, like I think it's a guitar. I don't remember the sound, but the tone of the instrument that carries the whole song through is slightly more on the higher pitched scale. And it does feel like it's like sort of scratching a part of your brain, and that part of your brain that experiences this lucidity within this song. So definitely check out the music video, but it's incredible. And I just want to talk about some of the lyrics to explain the story of the song. So the song opens with a verse which is, all aboard on the night train, find your seat, let the ride begin, and close my eyes, feel the rush within, and as the train leaves from memory lane. It's that beautiful mention of memory lane, of where this train's starting. So you're having this dream and the train's starting in a place where you're remembering all the fun and all the really amazing experiences you had with this person or people, and going from there. So it's a really poetic way of describing this and painting this picture and starting the picture. But the lovely part of it is the simplicity after this of the chorus. So the chorus is basically two lines with a few different things thrown in. And so it goes from the first verse into, but it's never going to be quite like you. Because it's never going to be quite like you. So that's it. It's basically 2 lines. And it's so beautifully written because it says everything that you need to say. It says that I'm experiencing this dream where I'm interacting with you, or interacting with the different people that I've lost throughout my life. And I'm experiencing this, and this is great. And I'm going back through all the memories, but it's never going to be the same experience as having you there. You know, we've all experienced loss. It's a very human thing. And you can have moments where you remember certain images or experiences or things that have happened that you reminisce over, but it doesn't change the fact that you just wish the person was there. And I think it captures it. So it's 2 lines. It's basically 2 lines repeated, and it captures it so beautifully. And towards the end of the song, this is repeated. There's a section where Shane just sings this part over what is the crescendo of the song. And in the music video, there's the main character of the music video is this young guy who looks like he's going and seeing a past love. And there's basically this shot that does a 360 around them on top of this hill, experiencing all of these different things. And it's so powerful, and it gives me goosebumps thinking about it, actually. That's quite funny. But it's so powerful. And it's 1 line, quite like you, over and over again, because it just brings home everything that the song is referencing, which is it's amazing having this dream. It's so visceral having this dream. It's so beautiful to have this dream, but it's still not the same as having the person that you want there. So yeah, definitely check out the music video because it's lovely. The song's amazing. Everyone I show it to loves it. My mum texts me every couple of weeks and goes, I'm still listening to that Night Train song, you know? And I'm like, yes, I know. So am I. So is my girlfriend. So is everyone I show it to. So yeah, I think Those Same Crows are a band that really has flown, I'd say, under the radar. They sold out Shepherd's Bush Empire, which was awesome. It was really cool to see a packed house of a lot of rock fans who loved rock music. And I think they're going to sell out more shows in the future, and they're only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I can see them getting onto that Nickelback level. It can take some time. But the fact they got the #1 album last year, and the fact that, you know, they're building on that, they're playing Download again this year. Yeah, I'm just really excited to see what they do next. So yeah, check out Night Train. I think realistically, the 2 songs you want to start with are probably 2 of the first songs, which I started with from them, which is Glass Hearts, because Glass Hearts is a real fun intro, and then go straight to Night Train. And don't just listen to it, watch the music video of it, put some headphones on or listen to it on some big speakers and watch it, because I guarantee either you'll have goosebumps or you will cry or both. And I tell you, it's a 10 out of 10 experience to connect like that with a song. So amazing work from Those Damn Crows on the latest album. Thoroughly deserve the #1 album in the charts. And I hope it's not too long before we get more music from them, and we'll be looking out for more gig dates to go and see them because they were great live and Shane's voice is great live. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode. This was all about Those Damn Crows. Start with Glass Hearts, listen to Night Train, and then I will see you again next week to talk about more. Give me a like, give me a subscribe if you've enjoyed the episode, and then join me, again next week.